A mystery creature washes up on a South Georgia beach and it has everyone scratching their heads.
We saw the bite marks and things of that nature, and it looked like it was not doing so well.
Walking his dog very early in the morning, found the squid, he alerted us to it, and we came down immediately.
They say prehistoric. It certainly looks like it's something out of the deep.
Live squid. Squids live in the deep ocean and mostly come to shore when they have lived out their days. But an uncommon sight was witnessed at a beach in Japan when a live squid was found stranded on the shore. It measured 3 meters in total length and weighed almost 80 kilograms. The creature was then taken to a local aquarium to give medical assistance, and once it was in the clear, it was released back into the ocean. Giant squid. I'm sure we would all react like this guy if we saw a squid that big on our beach. The guy laid down beside the squid to get an idea of how big it exactly was and could not contain his excitement.
Are you gonna take a photo? I'm taking the video.
The rare sighting happened on Western Cape Beach as people found an almost 13-foot-long squid washed up on the sand. These giants mostly inhabit the deep waters, so spotting one on the surface is quite interesting. Conjoined twin whales. It isn't unusual to find whales stranded on beaches, but one such find came with an exceptional twist, as the one discovered here had one body and 2 heads. The rare find was made in Mexico and left many people super confused. At first, they thought the whale was a mythical ocean dweller that finally made an appearance. In reality, it was a case of Siamese conjoined twins, which is quite rare in animals. So, when it comes to whales, this kind of specimen is quite exceptional. Sinister Beach. A group of people got a surprise from the waves when they spotted an eerie-looking creature floating in the water. It had no proper eyes, body, or any features. Although it looks like a mysterious or unknown creature, this wasn't the case. This thing was most probably not some creature, but part of one, specifically some type of sea animal. Some viewers suggested that it was the gills or guts of a larger fish, while others said it was a sea plant, but its true identity is still unknown. This 4-meter-long unidentified sea creature washed up on a beach in Acapulco, Mexico. And left every person on scene scratching their heads. Some people on the beach had the courage to grab a stick and poke around the creature, but its species could not be identified. Judging by its size, many guessed that it was the remains of a giant whale. Giant whale. An albino whale had washed up on the La Rata beach in the Malaga town of Estepona and left every person stunned at the sight. Sadly, the whale had passed away. The fact that albinism is super rare in this species makes this find even more sombering. But there is a dark side to this discovery as well. It was rumored that researchers found plastic pieces in the whale's mouth, suggesting the poor whale possibly suffered because of us humans. Naturally, this news made every environmental conservationist upset. Let's hope we can prevent such incidents in the future. Hairy creature. This mysterious hairy creature appeared on the beach in the Philippines and amazed a group of beach lovers. What makes this discovery mind-boggling is that it was fully covered in hair. No one had seen such a creature before, and considering that more than 90% of ocean life is undiscovered, many thought this was a new species. I mean, who wouldn't? Just look at that thing. Later, it was discussed that it might be the decomposed remains of a whale, and the hairs were actually decomposed muscle fibers. What do you think? Whale rescue. A group of ocean conservationists were on their way to work close to a beach when they found a juvenile male humpback stranded on the beach. Even though the whale was submerged in the ocean water to some extent, it needed human help to make a safe return.
Break their legs and everything. So we're gonna have to get some ropes.
Even though the mission was a bit tough on the team, they did not lose hope and did everything in their power to get it back to the ocean.
Okay, comes a lot of water. Watch the fin.
All of them pushed it by themselves and helped the gentle giant get back to the ocean. Giant oarfish. An oarfish is a deep-sea dweller. They inhabit areas as deep as 250 to 1,000 meters deep, so it's super rare to spot them close to the surface. One day, some beachgoers got a major surprise when they saw a 15-foot oarfish washed up at a beach on Catalina Island. Even marine experts were baffled by this rare find. However, it's not too exciting, since oarfish typically surface before or after a seismic activity, suggesting this find could possibly hint at an incoming danger. But we can't deny it looks majestic. Just look at its size compared to a human hand. I'm impressed by this sea animal. Massive stingray. You might have seen stingrays swim close to beaches before, as these majestic animals often come to shore in search of food. But a group of friends had an unforgettable experience when giant stingrays with prehistoric looks swam right into their feet. It seemed like these critters were super friendly and showed up near the beachgoers, as if it was saying, "Wash me," drawn in the dust on its forehead. Deep sea monster. There are several eerie species that inhabit the depths of our ocean, and honestly, I don't have any problem with them. But their existence became a creepy, tingling memory for many beachgoers when an anglerfish made its way to the shore at a California beach. Its peculiar features and jet black color was truly a nightmare. The anglerfish had expired by the time it was spotted on the surface, so beachgoers were concerned because they wondered what had brought the anglerfish to the surface. Possibly a bigger, scarier creature. Battered shark. You might think that sharks are the apex predators of the ocean, but even they are not safe from other ocean dwellers. A fisherman in Australia claimed he had never seen anything like it in his 15 years of experience, as he found this great white shark washed up on a beach in questionable conditions and could not understand what could have done it. Some experts suggested that the poor animal had fallen prey to killer whales. It's also possible the ocean holds a bigger, scarier predator we don't know about. Before we move any further, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you can keep watching our amazing content. Creepy bones. Imagine enjoying a calming day at the beach, and then you come across skeletal remains possibly belonging to an alien. Sounds interesting, right? A couple actually encountered such a scene when strolling through the sands of Ilha Comprida, Brazil. They discovered a humanoid hand embedded in the sand. However, the hand lacked a thumb and looked quite eerie, so they believed it was the hand of an alien. But we have some other explanations too. According to viewers, it could be a whale's or orca's flipper, as those resemble human hands a lot too, and lack opposable thumbs. Thousands of fish. It's normal to see fish in the ocean, but it becomes a sinister scene if whole schools of these fish are seen beached on shore. The people in Texas could not believe their eyes when they witnessed thousands of fish motionlessly floating with the ocean waves. This unusual sight made them wonder if a giant predatory fish did this. But the culprit behind this was a rise in water temperature, which had made it impossible for the fish to survive. So they breached to the surface.
These warmer Gulf water temperatures, the water itself has less capacity to hold dissolved oxygen, which of course is really important and essential for the fish and other animals to breathe.
Sadly, the fish didn't survive, showing us how scary the world can be. Sharks on shore. If you're scared of sharks, you'd better skip a few seconds ahead. Turns out that these giants not only live in the depths, but are perfectly capable of coming to the shore. This feeding frenzy was observed in North Carolina, making the beach lovers question their choice of a holiday spot.
Look.
And that was not the only time sharks surprised humans. On another occasion, black-tip reef sharks made a thrilling entry on a beach in the Maldives when their prey thought it could escape them by coming near the shore. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm never going near a beach after watching this. Seaweed on shore. The visitors at beaches in Florida have been experiencing an additional sight on their beach days. Whole piles of seaweed. Huge areas on the Atlantic Ocean are covered by this Sargasso seaweed, and it has no bounds. Every once in a while, it washes up on the beaches of Florida and Mexico due to strong air currents, creating this interesting scene. Even though it looks fun, this massive bloom is so huge, it can be seen on satellite data and spills a nasty odor all over the place. Horseshoe crabs. This is a whole family of horseshoe crabs, and despite their intimidating looks, they are not harmful at all. And despite those looks, there's no creepy ritual happening here. All of these have gathered on the beach for a mating process. So no need to feel worried if you see this many horseshoe crabs on your day or night at the beach. They're completely harmless and come there to enjoy their time, just like us. Mullet run. Some beachgoers had hit the jackpot when they found a mullet run on their simple day at the beach. A mullet run happens when whole schools of fish migrate to the southern tip of Florida and then move offshore to spawn on the beaches. This makes an insanely satisfying scene for the viewers and a great opportunity for fishing. Even here, many people made the most out of the mullet run and got their hands on as many fish as possible. Rocket launch. Imagine going to a beach for a nice calming day, and you find out that SpaceX is sending their first test of the Falcon Heavy rocket in the area. This actually happened at Playa Linda Beach and added an extra pinch of excitement to the visitors in the area. Beachgoers claimed its intense vibrations could be felt from the beach. Its huge cloud of smoke, plus the successful launch, gave every person on the scene a great day to remember. Giant pipes. Instead of seeing the typical overcrowding and towels on beaches, people in the UK found giant plastic coastline pipes washed up on the shore. And by giant, I mean really big. Just look how little these people seem while walking on the pipes. These pipes are 2 meters in diameter, and one of them is almost 500 meters long. They were being towed to Algeria for a large project, but broke free on the way and were floating or washed up on the shores. I hope the manufacturer got them where they needed to be later on. Mysterious sea foam. Swimmers in Argentina got to experience a playful day at the beach when the entire shoreline filled with bubbly sea foam. The vibe from the entire beach instantly changed, as people laughed and even dunked their faces in the foam. And it was completely safe. This phenomena occurs when large blooms of algae decay offshore, or when organic matter, like seaweed, is tossed by wind and waves. The same thing happened at Alexandra Headland, Australia. But the ocean foam did not just stay on the shore. It actually flew into the city, making the people enjoy the unique weather. Would you dive into the foamy ocean? Blasting beach. A former tourist beach in Odessa, Ukraine, pulled a surprising object from the ocean. An old and huge, active mine bomb that was perfectly capable of taking over the entire beach. Luckily, bomb disposal squads arrived on time and carefully removed the object from the area. It was later detonated in a safe, deserted place. The people of Ukraine thanked the amazing emergency services and the heroic squad for their top services. Water mountains. Mostly, roads are used by humans, but one day, the oddball on shore. Strange objects started washing up on the beach after a tsunami in Japan. A man discovered this unusual creature during a seemingly ordinary beach walk. He stopped to check if it was alive or not, and even after being touched, the critter did not respond. Unlike many who thought it was a giant snail from the deep, the reality was far different. Marine experts said that it was most probably a sea sponge that got ripped from the sea floor and washed up on the beach. Alien blob. This video left all viewers scratching their heads as they tried to identify what the creature could be. The man found the creature at Nighthawk Bay, Texas, and surprisingly, a man was courageous enough to pick it up with his bare hands. Its blob-like body and peculiar movements made it look like some alien form, and some even compared it with a creature from the Blob film. Some others think it was a type of mysterious sea hare. However, we still don't know what it is. Otherworldly being. Stranded on the sands, this unknown creature caught the attention of fishermen, who used their ropes to pull it close. Its grand size and peculiar features sparked the discussion about prehistoric sea giants among the local market. Many experts who saw the video concluded that it could be a whale, as it also resembled the partially decomposed remains of one. But the reality of the critter remained unknown, showing us how little we know of the ocean and the creatures that lurk beneath its waves. Blood ocean. A rare phenomenon turned 4 kilometers of Bondi Beach, Sydney into a stark red color in 2012. Many thought it was a sign of the end of times, but it was actually an unseen spectacle of nature. An algae bloom in the area made the water red. Experts said that it happened due to Sydney's recent hot weather and heavier rainfall that encouraged algae growth. Even though it did not have much effect on humans, the beach was still shut down to ensure safety. While it is a striking sight, we should be thankful it is a rare phenomena. This is because algae blooms lower oxygen levels in the ocean, making it hard for marine animals to survive. Odd blobs. I came across this video and, frankly, had no clue what it was. A man found these weird-looking blobs on the beach and tried exploring its material. My best guess is that these might be the eggs of a giant sea creature, while some viewers joke that these were cosmetic implants. But most people suggested these were sea gooseberries, a type of comb jellyfish that looks like a literal glob. But I'm still not so sure. What do you think it is? Humanoid fish. This strange-looking creature was found floating along the shore of a beach in China. The man who found this critter was super excited, as he thought he discovered a new species. The animal seemed to have a human-like head with some sort of arms and legs, and was even moving. As the video circulated the internet, some said it was a genetic research gone wrong, while others suggested it was possibly a sea sponge, but its real identity is still not known. Mysterious lights. While flying over the Pacific Ocean, a pilot and their passengers were shocked to see mysterious bright red lights near the water. They were flying over an area with no land masses nearby, so they thought that some alien ship was flying near them. But this isn't some alien craft cruising Earth's oceans. The glow was actually coming from shipping boats that were using red lights to draw some fish up to the surface. So if you ever see anything like this, it's just a bunch of humans gathering food. Helping a predator. A family at the Pensacola beach witnessed a mako shark, which had washed up on the shore. And despite the fact that it was a predatory fish, they all stepped in to help the shark. This man showed what real humanity is. Even if a creature looks scary, it doesn't mean you leave it on the shore. Even though the shark splashed multiple times, the man did not lose his cool. And after handling the situation in a cautious way, the giant mako made a safe return to the ocean where it belonged. Sea snails party. It's normal for a jellyfish to get stranded on the beach, but instantly becoming a meal for a snail party? Now I'm seeing that for the first time. A woman was excited to find a jelly on a routine day, and got a surprise when she found a whole family of snails partying on it.
Look at that. It's really bizarre.
Have you ever seen them move this fast? It looks like a meal that good can bring out the best, even in the slowest of creatures.
On some of these, look at them. Look at that.
Frozen ocean. Believe it or not, this is a whole ocean that became a perfect spot to take a walk, as it became frozen due to dropping temperatures. The unusual sight was captured in Cape Cod, when waves were turned into patches of ice and sea foam, resembling piles of snow. It happened due to an extended period of extremely cold temperatures caused by a weather phenomenon known as a bomb cyclone. The people in the area took advantage of this happening and made some memories by walking on the ocean. Box waves. I know these waves look oddly satisfying, but if you ever see them in the ocean, make sure you head back to the shore. This unusual event is called box waves, and it is a sign of some mysterious activity going on under the surface. These boxes are two ocean swells colliding perpendicular to one another, creating a mesmerizing scene. But this cross-sea wave collision results in a powerful rip current and incredibly unpredictable waves, which can easily take down any swimmer. Stranded cargo ship. Beachgoers in India experienced an interesting scene as a Singapore-flagged vessel, MV Wisdom, got stranded on the beach right in front of them. They were all super excited to see the giant body so close to them and played near it for hours. The ship had broken its towing rope while being towed by motor tug Seabulk Plover. Refloating it was a precious task because the sheer size and weight of the ship became a big obstacle. But after 20 days of staying away from home, MV Wisdom was safely refloated back into the sea on time. UFO crashes in ocean. A casual day at the beach turned into a surreal encounter when an unexplained object emerged from the clouds and then made a dashing entry into the water. Its unusual shape made every person on the scene believe that they had seen a UFO flying on the horizon. Some said that it was a hoax because it did not make any splash while falling in the water, while others were persistent that it was an unknown extraterrestrial technology. That is why it made a smooth entry. But the reality is, unfortunately, still unknown. Clever eagle. A man was calmly fishing on the beach, and a bald eagle got its eyes on his catch.
That eagle. Take the picture. Take the picture.
I got
picture.
it. I got it on video.
Although these birds of prey are known to work for their food, this particular one wanted an easy alternative. So it took over the shark the man had caught and showed him it was not going to let go of its catch. Just look at its attitude. No one would dare to argue with a bald eagle of that size. The video ends abruptly, but it looked like that bird got what it wanted.
Oh, he's gonna have it.
Fish walking on land. Did you know that fish can walk on land too? Well, if you don't believe me, then here's the proof. Although it might look like these fish got stranded on the beach, this was actually pre-planned. These are grunions, and they found a new way of protecting their children. Whole schools of this fish come to the shore to spawn. The female buries herself in the sand to lay eggs, while the male fertilizes them. Here's another one that can walk on land. The climbing perch can walk on land with sharp spines on its gill plates and can spend almost 6 days on land and hibernate for up to 6 months. It's a true top-rated fish in the ocean kingdom. Creepy dolls. During a regular scientific research survey at Port Aransas, Texas, Chase Tunnel came across several dolls covered in seaweed and shells scattered all over the beach. And these items got a lot of attention.
All you weirdos out there, the little creepy baby doll. Hee!
Researchers think that the loop current coming from Mexico, Florida, and other countries takes up everything around the area and pushes it up to the Texas coast.
Here in Texas, in particular, we have a loop current that goes around Mexico and then up the Gulf Stream of Florida,
bringing in the dolls and other items. The Mission Aransas National Research Center used it to their best interest, selling the dolls and using it to save ocean life. Garfield phones. If you're a fan of Garfield, then you better visit this beach. For the last 35 years, Garfield-themed phones have been washing up along the beaches in western France, and no one could understand where they were coming from. The teams who were cleaning these beaches were confused about what was happening, until finally, the mystery was solved. Some people thought it was a prank, but they were actually escaping from a lost shipping container, stuck in a partially submerged cave. Odd-looking jellies. This giant jellyfish was found washed up on beaches in the UK, and every beachgoer was thrilled to find out about them.
These huge jellyfish that are being washed up right along this coastline here, and there are literally dozens of them.
Mostly, the jellies people find during their beach day are smaller and seemingly harmless. So, finding such a huge one on the shore looked super interesting. However, most kept a safe distance, because although some particular species are completely safe for human beings, it's still better not to poke around with these creatures, because they can sting even after they've passed away. Fish robbery. A fishing day turned into a fight for food when a seal got super interested in their catch and followed it all over to the beach. But it was too late, and the fish was out of its reach. It even stayed for a while to negotiate with the humans, and once it saw they wouldn't budge, the seal returned. After all, there's plenty of fish in the sea. Here's another seal that went out on a fish robbery and actually succeeded at it. Despite the man telling it to go away, it only went home once it got its fish. Kangaroo at beach. When you hear of a kangaroo, you immediately think that they live in the grasslands or open forests. But that does not stop them from spending a nice day at the beach. it took to the waves and enjoyed to full extent while jumping in the water. But the splashes were a bit too much for the marsupial, so some people came in to rescue it from the ocean. But something tells me the kangaroo was tempted to repeat its actions the very next day. Hundreds of black snails. At first, everyone thought it was black pebbles scattered all over the Fort DeSoto beach in Florida. But a closer look shows it was none other than a whole party of seraph snails invading the area. The even stranger fact was that seraph snails mostly stay at the seabed, buried in sand. This sight immediately caught the attention of different tourists and beachgoers, and everyone started recording the mesmerizing phenomena. Some researchers suggested that a recent hurricane might have washed up the snails' food, making them walk an extra mile for a meal. New species. Some sunbathers were enjoying a good day at the beach when they spotted this thing walking near the waves. Is it a giant ant or a new species? All of them wondered as it eventually revealed its true identity. The critter was a Komodo dragon feasting on a turtle. I guess it got so carried away with its meal that it didn't realize it was inside of its shell. Manta rays party. Dozens of manta rays wash up on the coast of Gaza every year in March and April, and this has been happening for quite a while now. The fishermen in the area took advantage of this natural breaching and captured the rays. The exact reason for this recurring event is not yet known, but there are some theories. Some suggest that these rays wash up on the beach due to decrease in oxygen levels in the water, while others think that these poor animals often lose their way and beach themselves. Quicksand at beach. A father and son were enjoying their time at the beach when the boy got stuck in the quicksand. But no one lost their calm. The only way to come out of such a situation is to crawl out on your own. So the father guided the boy and stayed by his side until he came out.
That's crazy. Come on.
If he had gone in, both of them could have become stuck with no help. In the end, the boy made it to safety by crawling out of the quicksand in a calm way, and probably learnt an important lesson about looking where you're going. Eerie creature. Two friends were exploring a remote side of the beach and came across a creature that none of them had ever seen before. As their curiosity piqued, one of them held a stick, gently poked it to check, and then flipped it over to see what it was, but got even more confused. No one could understand what it was, as it did not look similar to any sea animal. Some people suggested that the creature was a fake, but the people who encountered it were sure that the thing they saw was a real alien. It's time for today's open discussion. People in South Africa were exploring a beach when they came across an unusual find. All the beachgoers on site were stunned to see a giant squid measuring 13 feet washed up on the coast. These critters normally inhabit the depths of the ocean, so it's quite unusual to witness one washed up on the surface. The explorers got so curious that they examined the giant close up and even touched the sharp beak that was normally used for defense and hunting by the squid. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.